Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to our program Spiritual Insight, and we're continuing on from yesterday. Our discussion was about controversial issues, about Roze, and how we can improve our spirituality in this month of Ramadan, how we can benefit from this month of Ramadan. We have with us our guest, Sheikh Jafar Imran, and he will also be discussing and continuing our conversation from yesterday. Welcome, Sheikh Jafar Imran, to the program Spiritual Insight. Thank you for joining us, and let's start the conversation.
Thank you very much, Brother Faizul Hassan, and Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, our dear viewers, from wherever you are watching us from. So, Alhamdulillah, yesterday we talked about some things about suhoor and fiqh. So, today, inshallah, we are going to continue more. So,
Yes,
if
Brother
just to
Jafar,
start with, yes.
if you could perhaps give a brief information about the uh, Ramadan itself. So we spoke about suhoor, and now if you could discuss more details of how we open the fast. So we spoke yesterday about what is suhoor and if it's wajib or not. It's mustahab, and you can even have a drink of water. You said. So what about iftar? How can one do iftar? How should one start iftar?
Yesterday we talked about the philosophy or the history of fasting itself. That it was there even during the time of other prophets like Nabi Musa and Isa. And what we discussed also the purpose or the goal or the objective of fasting. We said it is to gain taqwa, to gain closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we talked also about suhoor. So we talked about around three things. So today you asked how are we going to end our fasting or how are we going to break our fast? We talked about suhoor, and today we are going to talk about how should we end our fasting. So one thing about the fasting is that we have a verse that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, ثُمَّ أَتِمُّ الصِّيَامَ إِلَى اللَّيْلِ, and complete your fasting till night, not till Maghrib. He said till night. So when we hear the adhan of Maghrib, that is the specific time of Maghrib. Maghrib means the sunset. So at that time we shouldn't open our fasting. We should wait, at least pray Maghrib, because the darkness will be complete. Yani we'll have a complete, a total darkness. That is layl, that is the beginning of night. After then we can break our fasting.
Thank you, Brother Jafar. So usually when people should they pray the Maghrib namaz prior to opening the fast, or can they open the fast and then they read the Maghrib namaz?
It is better because during the time of Maghrib, as I said, it is the time that we have the sunset. So it is not yet night. It is just Maghrib. It is just sunset. There is no complete or total darkness outside. So it's better you pray Maghrib, then have something. If you are that starving, then have something. After then, you can come and continue praying Isha. But it's better we wait till that time. So for us, instead of us just waiting till that darkness come or that night comes, but then better you pray Maghrib. After praying Maghrib, you will have total darkness outside, and it will be night. Then you go and break your fasting.
Just I wanted to add a point here. There are some of our the Shia followers that are in the taqleed of Makarim Shirazi and I think Rahbar, where I've heard about their time Maghrib timing is a bit different from the other Marajas. Are you aware of this, Brother Jafar?
About the time of Maghrib. No, if you can explain
Yes.
more, that would be better.
Yeah, so basically, there's a discrepancy between the time of Maghrib, between our ulamas, our Maraja,
Yes.
where it's not much of a big difference. It's just some of our Marajas have a difference of opinion of the timing of the Maghrib. Some say it's when the sun has completely set, Some say it's about to set, and so there's just this a bit of discrepancy. So some of our Marajas, well, I think two of our Marajas, I don't know their names, but as far as in the communication that I've heard from them, is that they are also following the Al Sunnah time, and they said it's not an ishkal if you read Maghrib time according to their understanding. So there is some discrepancy on this, and I'm sure we can bring this up more in the next program as well about the Maghrib
Inshallah.
time. When is the exact Maghrib time as well?
Inshallah.
So this is something that we can look into. Because I had this issue, I
Inshallah.
had some students asking me about this this issue about the Maghrib timing. And so if we look into this in the next program, I think that would be great. So you were saying iftar, how one should open their fast, how should they break their fast? What should they do? What should they eat? Are there any advice from Ayman Tyreen, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? Would you like to share that with us?
Okay. Yes. The first thing is that when we want to break our fast, it is mubah, it is okay to break the fast with something which is halal. You shouldn't break fasting with something that we are not sure of it is halal or if it is haram. We have to break our fast with something which is halal for our fasting to be accepted. That is one. Then the second thing is that the Holy Prophet recommended at least we should break our fast with eating 3 dates. After then we have to take warm water to open our digestive system. But unfortunately, okay, fine, we can do anything else that we want. If it is halal, we can do anything else, any act that we want that was haram before breaking the fast. We know ourselves, the people who have families, they know whatever they can do. And on the other side, I saw some of my friends, they normally put their cigarette in the mouth, waiting for the adhan, then they just light it up. That is okay, it is okay, but it is not according to what the Holy Prophet told us. So if we look at whatever the Holy Prophet told us, he said, first of all, we have to take at least 3 days. After then, we take warm water just to open the digestive system. It is wrong to open the fasting with something which is haram. And it is harmful to open the fasting with something that is out of these 2 things that I've mentioned, death and water.
It's coincidentally something just come up in my mind. I was speaking to one of my Hausa students about someone who wants to gain spirituality, and when they want to gain spirituality, they have to do fasting and they have to cleanse the soul, and they increase their spiritual power. So so they do fasting. Now there was this individual who was told by someone, if you want to gain knowledge, a lot of knowledge, and you want to know everything that you see and you understand and you have that comprehension, because knowledge according to us is a light, we call it nur, but then there's another knowledge which you can gain from negative powers as well. So they told this individual, fast for 7 days. So the person fasted for 7 days, and every time when you break your fast, on the 7th day when you break your fast, break it with your own urine and alcohol. So this person did this action, and he broke his fast with this silly action. Once he did that, he fell asleep, and then he woke up. He saw a dream. In the dream, he saw that there was an individual coming towards him and said, "Now, do you want?" He was very hairy. Apparently, he was very hairy. He had a lot of hair on him, and he approached him and he said to him, "Now I can give you all the knowledge that you want." So he hugs him, and when he hugs him, he wakes up. So when he wakes up, and then he sees everything around him, and he knows everything about this thing. So for example, if he saw the tree, he will know exactly when this tree was planted, when the seed came in, when it grew, when it sprouted, it grew. Whatever he would see, he would have information coming to him. So this made me understand that there are 2 types of powers in this world. You've got the negative force and you've got the positive force. And it depends on how you work in your life, how you behave, what kind of actions you do, and they will then make a judgment on you of what your actions are based on. So if there are positive actions, you're going towards a positive direction, and if there are negative actions, you're going towards negative directions. So this, as you said about haram, now it makes sense to me when we say don't eat haram, don't follow those actions because they have negative consequences. So this person who fasted for 7 days and then he broke his fast with that, he connected himself with the negative power, with
With
the
the negative
negative
spirit and
spirituality.
negative power. Yeah.
Yes. And I recently came to this realization that in this world there's only two forces. It's either the positive or the negative. Meaning either you're going towards hell or you're going towards heaven. And there's no other
Yes.
way around this. The reason why I was saying this is because I had this confusion that why do I have to choose a path? Why cannot I myself have my own spiritual power? But what I've realized is it's not possible. It's either you gain spiritual power through the positive way, or then you gain spiritual power or negative spiritual power through this satanic and devilish way. There is no other way. And that's where I've come to the conclusion about this.
Yeah, on the other side is that when you want to gain the positive spiritual power, you are insisted and emphasized to use halal material and whatever we have, let me say halal tools. That is dua, that is fasting, that is giving out sadaqah, that is reciting the Quran, that will nurture your spirit in a positive way. But if you do haram things, you are fasting just to break your fasting with haram things, you are going to the other side that the Holy Prophet did not recommend. So you will gain that spiritual power, but a negative spiritual power that cannot guide someone. Rather, you are going to put rather you are going to go to guide people, or let me say to lead people in a straight way, to a straight way.
So, Brother Jafar, I heard about that if you want to gain negative spiritual power, there's a narration that you should read the Quran from the other way round. So from the opposite side, from the end of the Quran and from the opposite side. So, for example, as we read Alhamd, so you read it the other way. And if you read it the other way, the consequences or the effects are different. So this is something I recently found out when I was in Hawza, that there are some people, if they want to gain negative spirituality, they do all the opposite from positivity. And I can't describe it now on this program, the negative things that they do, but anyone can, use their imagination and reach those places where we can't say here what things they do. So there is a positive and a negative force
Shaitan's
out
market
there
is
in
very
this
big
world.
and very wide. Shaitan's market is
Yes,
very
it
big and very wide.
is. That's right.
That is another problem.
So today we wanted to discuss about the akhlaqiyat, ethics. So, and I said, let's talk about lying or telling the truth. So, opposites. So, dualities. If there's a truth, there's an opposite to that. It is called lying. You're lying. Now, as we see in these both situations, one is positive and the other one is negative. Lying is considered by everyone as a negative trait, and telling the truth, honesty, is considered as something of a positive, a good behavior and attribute. So, would you like to add something on this, Brother Jafar? I've got a few things to add, but give me
أعوذ بالله من
something to you.
الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. There is a verse in the Holy Quran that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وكونوا مع الصادقين. O you who believe, اتقوا الله. Fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and be with the true, how can I put it? And be with the truth, or the people who say the truth. In saying the
Be
truth,
with
we
the
have a
honest
lot
people.
of we can be with the honest people, and by us being honest, it really have positive effects on us and on the people, on the community that we're talking about. Let me say, if you just say the truth, the other people say the truth and the truth will set you free. So I don't know if it is a Bible verse or something, but I heard them saying that. So if you say the truth, you will gain people's heart. You'll gain people's heart by attracting their attention, such that if they want, they will trust you in a such way that if they want to put anything to you, if they want to put anything in your custody, they know this person will say the truth. So they look beyond that. They don't say, no, this person is a trustworthy. This person, no, no, no. They just look at that issue of being honest. And in the Holy Quran, we have a lot of verses that talk really about being honest. That is one that I've already recited. And the second one, this the first one that the first verse that I recited is from Surah At-Tawbah, verse 119. The other verse is from Surah Maryam, verse 41. Says, "Wadhkur fil kitabi Ibrahim innahu kana siddiqan nabiyya." And remember, in the book of Ibrahim, or in the chapter of Ibrahim, he was very honest and he was a prophet. So in top of him being a prophet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praises him of being honest. The other verse that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about Ishaq and Yaqub, he says in the Surah Maryam, verse number 50, وَوَهَبْنَا لَهُم مِّن رَحْمَتِنَا وَجَعَلْنَا لَهُم لِسَانَ صِدْقٍ عَلِيًّا. And we gave them from our bounties, from our rahmah, and we made them have honest tongues. واذكر في الكتاب إسماعيل إنه كان صادق الوعد وكان. We have a lot of verses in the Holy Quran that speak about being honest. The other side, the other negative side.
Can I just cut you there?
Yes.
This
yes.
ayat that
Continue.
you just said, Sidkin Aliyan. Some people translate this, or the tafsir, they say it's actually referring to Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib. Have you heard about this?
Yes.
Sidkan Aliyan.
This verse being, they say it's not a. Yes. This verse being referred. This verse being referred to Imam Ali. It is not contradicting the previous verses that they talk about Nabi Ishaq and Yaqub, because they were also honest people, and they were also honest prophets. So we can also say that this verse was revealed, but the purpose of this verse was Imam Ali, but it is also applicable to those other prophets that we talked about. So there is no contradiction there. Somebody shouldn't say that no, we have sababun nuzul and we have sha'nun nuzul. We have the reason why the verse was revealed, what happened till the verse was revealed, and we have the purpose that with this verse should be used, how to apply this verse. So it shouldn't just be used on that time, but it can be used on that time, the time of the Holy Prophet, and it can be also referred to those two prophets that I've just mentioned their name, Nabi Ishaq and Nabi Yaqub.
Right. So sometimes in society, you will find a situation where if you tell the truth, you might get into trouble. And sometimes if you tell a lie, you can progress in your career, or you can save yourself. And so it's not so black and white, where telling the truth all the time is it the right thing to do? Maybe you might get someone in trouble by telling the truth. And sometimes if you lie, you might save two people from fighting, for example. So should someone always tell the truth, irrespective of the consequences? And should someone never lie, irrespective of the consequences that might take place? This is something that someone who doesn't believe in Islam, or maybe doesn't have any belief system, they might use lying when they think it's appropriate and useful for them, and they'll tell the truth whenever they think it is useful and beneficial for them. Because again, lying and telling the truth are tools which we use for communications to convince our argument. Yes. We might say a bit of lie here and a truth over there to portray what we want as our agenda to be. And this is something that I think at the moment, in this day and age that we are living in, Brother Jafar, I believe this is how society is at the moment. They don't really care if telling the truth is a virtue or telling a lie is a vice. They don't care about this. They care as long as their objectives are achieved, they will use both methods of gaining whatever the objective is. But what do you think? Do you think the outcome would be the objective they will get, or will there be some negative effects by using lie in this and manipulating the truth as well? What's your opinion on that?
They will get the objective, but it will be just a short time period of gain, but it will have a long lasting negative impact on them. The issue of
So it's
trusting
just like halal
somebody,
and
the
haram.
issue, yes, it's
It's
like
just
halal
like
and
halal
haram.
and haram.
Saying the
Yeah.
truth is recommended, and it is wajib. And saying saying what lying, it is something negative, and the Holy Prophet also didn't like it. Like we have a hadith that I memorized since I was young. It was saying that ayatul munafiq thalatha. The signs of a hypocrite person are three. إذا حدث كذب, when he talks he lies. وإذا وعد أخلف, and when he promises he breaks the promise. وإذا اؤتمن خان, and when he is trusted he breaks the trust. So that's it. So it will have a continuous impact on them. And one more thing, when you see that saying the truth will cause trouble, then don't say the truth and don't lie. Like there was a time not the Holy Prophet, but the Imam Ali was seated. Then he saw somebody running. He went and hid himself somewhere. He was running for his life. And other people came after him. Oh, they asked Imam Ali. Imam Ali was seated. Oh, have you seen somebody cross this place? Did you see any person passing here and running? Imam Ali stood up. Then he said, since the time I stood here, I have not seen any person running or crossing here. He didn't lie. He said the truth. But how did he say the truth? He said the truth in a way that he will save somebody's life. He didn't lie. The other side, somebody is allowed to lie if he wants to connect, or he wants to bond two brothers or two communities or two people who had a fight, like or who had a misunderstanding. Like you as a good person, they came to you, Maulana. We need you to advise us because my wife did this and this. She ran away and such a thing happened. Then for you to bring them together, for you to bring the family back together, you have to use some words, some sweet words to tell the other person, the other party, for him to come back or for her to come back to the bond or the marriage, that it is very recommended. So we can use it on that side. On the other side, we can use it to save somebody's life. And if that person is a good person and you see negative people coming they want to attack or harm somebody, you can say you can lie, but not that much for you to go to an extent of even swearing that what subhanallah, or wallahi I didn't see this and this happening, or I saw this and this happening. That is wrong. You just say the truth, or just use words that will save somebody's life, like the way Imam Ali did. Imam Ali didn't lie, but he used some words that will save somebody's life.
So I've noticed one thing, psychologically, those people that are liars, I've considered them to be weak. And those people that mostly tell the truth or are mostly honest, I've seen them to be braver, courageous, and intelligent. So this is something that I've personally experienced with individuals of such characteristics. Those that lie too much, they are a bit weak in character, or maybe weak in physically. They're weak in their mentality. They're a bit weak, and they're a bit cunning and sly. But those that are honest, what I've seen about honest people is either they're very simple, or they're very clever, and they know how to tell the truth, when to tell the truth, and how to manipulate the truth. And they're also brave and courageous. This is something that I've seen. I don't know if you've experienced such characteristics in people when you deal with them.
Lying is a sign of weakness. When somebody's heart is weak, he doesn't have self-confidence, or he got some peer pressure from other people, that's when somebody lies. When he lies, that's a negative thing also. Negatives, or what?
Yes, because
weak spirit, weak physical, I don't know, aspect or something like that.
and I think that's your hadith, the hadith that you narrated to us about the lying and the hypocrite. And again, in the Quran, somewhere it mentions that a hypocrite is a weak person. Hypocrite is someone that is someone that causes problem from behind the back. He doesn't really come in front. He's always stabbing you from the back. He's always trying to ruin your plans. But in front of you, he will try to be as if he's your friend, as if he's your, he's your ally. But in essence, he or she is not your friend, is not your ally, is your enemy. But is an enemy that is hidden within the garb of honesty, but he's not being honest at that time. And this is the world that we live in at the moment. Our politicians, our leaders that we have, or so-called leaders, I don't consider them as leaders, but the world that we live in, they lie to the extent that you think they're telling the truth. Governments lie, they lie so much, businesses lie, businessmen lie, teachers lie, the education system is lying. So everywhere there's
the law firm lies.
falsehood. Yes,
the law firm lies. The lawyers are there to lie.
So how does one escape from these kind of deception, treachery, and unfortunately we have a hadith and a narration. I'm sure you can correct me on this, where we have that during near the time of Zuhur of Imam Zaman alayhi salam, the world would be towards falsehood. People will prefer the liar compared to the person who will tell the truth. They would prefer to listen to lies and deceptions than someone who will tell them the honest truth. And do you think we are in this time, in this day and age? Do you think this is how it is, where people prefer falsehood to the truth?
Unfortunately, yes, we are heading there. We are heading there. Some few people are remaining who have, clean hearts, but most of the people, no, they are not okay.
It seems like whoever can speak eloquently, who's got the gift of the gab, and whatever he says, they want to hear it. They don't care it's true. They don't care it's a lie. What they care is, as long as they are pleased by that conversation, that information, let it be. They don't. For them, the parameter is not that it's the truth or it's the false. The parameter is this: that I like hearing this person. I don't care what he says, if it's true or not. As long as I'm pleased with it, I'm accepting it. And it seems like we are running after pleasure and the things that we like without a balanced attitude of, should this be right or should this be wrong? Is this true? Is this false? We're not looking into this. Oh yes, but however, if we get sick, if we have an illness, then we definitely want our doctor to tell us the truth. Where are we at? What is our sickness? We want to get a precise prescription to cure ourselves. But otherwise, we're happy to listen to gossip. We're happy to listen to lies, falsehood, and we want to believe those falsehood.
One more thing is that even nowadays, people, they really like to listen to, I can't say to lies, but not to, they really like to listen to negative things. They go to an extent of even telling the Ulama or even Sheikh, Moulana, don't talk about the issue of so and so. Don't talk about the issue of saying the truth. Don't talk about this and this. They are even planning, they are even giving programs to our ulamas who are there in the mimbar, who are there to guide people. So these ulama, because they want to preserve their own, their own, how can I say, level, or their own, respect. So they need to talk about the things that people that the people like. They won't say the truth. They'll just, oh, you know what, the benefit of giving out zakah is so and so. Wait, talk about sadaqah. People are dying. So Sheikh Maulana, don't talk about this and this. Talk about this and this. So they want to take the deen with their own hands, and they want to, how can I say, they want just to program their deen the way they like it, and that is very wrong.
That's right. I think the root cause of this is following our Hawaii nafs, following our desires, our lower desires. And our lower desires are making us behave below the character of a human being, I would say. And this is where we are, where we stand as a human race, as mankind. We are at the state where majority of us do lie. We use lie as a tool to get our ways. But we forget that this is a limited gain. There's no barakah. There's no blessings in lying. So why are we mixing our lifestyle with falsehood? When we mix it with falsehood, then the results are not so pure. And I believe a courageous person, and I believe those that tell the truth, they are the bravest people in the world. They are the people that you should hang around with, and that they are the only people that will defend you at the time of your crisis or when you have a problem. Someone who lies will only be there when things are going good. But when things become bad, when you know it hits the fan, I'm not going to say the word shit, but when it hits the fan, people run away. Only the Siddiqeen, the ones that are honest and pure, they stay with you. They take your hand. They protect you because they are the ones that are brave and courageous, and they have this honor and integrity to stand by their friend, be loyal to their friend or to whoever it is they are loyal to. And this is, I think, this is something that in society we are now lacking. We're not honest with ourselves. We're not honest with our community. We're not honest with our friends. Our friends are cheating one another, lying one another. We're not even honest with our spouses to an extent. So this is where
Yes.
we stand. And I think Ramadan is maybe, Brother Jafar, an opportunity for us to try to get away from the bad habit of lying and try to put a good habit of telling the truth. Ramadan, because as
Yes.
much as we are stopping ourselves from eating and drinking, prohibiting ourselves from such kind of foods and food itself, then we should also prohibit ourselves from, for example, let's say this 1 month I will not lie. This 1 month I will just tell the truth, for example. They can make this challenge for themselves. But then after 1 month, I won't say they should lie, but at least they will have the confidence in themselves that, okay, at least 1 month I only spoke the truth. Therefore, I do have the potential to tell the truth future ahead. And I think this month is very important because, as I said in our previous program, Brother Jafar, that in this month, you probably heard about the narration that the shayateen are imprisoned. The shayateen are imprisoned, so it's only us and our nafs. It's our lower desire. It's our nafs that we are fighting against, our nafs ammara
Yes.
that we are fighting against, and we're trying to change our nafs ammara to nafs lavama, and what's the other nafs? I forgot the name of the other one. But there's
Nafsul
three
Ammara
parts
to
of
be
nafs.
so, yes, Nafsul Ammara to be so, Nafsul Lawama and Nafsul Mutmainna. We have to gain that picture and we go to Nafsul Mutmainna.
And this is the month where we can try to change our nafs from ammara to lavama and can you say the word
Mutmainna.
again? Mutmainna, yes, mutmainna.
Yes.
So, well, Jafar,
I
lying
can
and
let me just
telling.
give our let me just give our viewers a quick remedy. You know what, Hassan, brother Hassan, this month it's like a college. So how are you going to graduate at the end of the studies or at the end of the training? It really matters. And just to give you a quick remedy is that hasibu, the Holy Prophet says, hasibu anfusakum qabla an tuhasabu. You should evaluate yourself before somebody else or before you are evaluated during the day of judgment. So it's a very good thing. Before you sleep, you just counter check your checklist. Did I lie today? A tick. Did I do something correct? Tick. Did I give out sadaqah? Tick. So did I lie today? Oh, so there's a stick. So we can say that your checklist in the issue of saying the truth or being honest, it's 50. So the other 50 has gone to lying, to not being honest. So before you sleep, you just counter check what have you done the whole day. Have you talked about somebody? Have you backbited anybody? Have you given out sadaqah? Did you recite Quran? Did you pray on time? Be doing this each and every day. By the end of Ramadan, you will see you are somebody else.
That's right, Brother Jafar. This is the golden month. This is the golden month. This is the only opportunity where you can bring some change. And the reason is also because when you're fasting, you feel a bit lethargic. Now, what I mean by lethargic is you feel a bit lazy, tired because your glucose level is all down and you don't feel like doing anything. But at the same time, when you push yourself to do something, your willpower is also becoming strong. And when your willpower becomes strong, you're able to get this inner energy from yourself. So basically what you're trying to do is you're making your spirit strong. And to make the spirit more
Yes.
stronger, the positive spirit, you tell the truth, you avoid negative thinking, negative behaviors. But what do we do if someone has a bad habit? But I think if they do have a bad habit, they can use this month to recover from this bad habit, just like smoking. When someone has an addiction to
Mm,
smoking, they can use this month to perhaps free themselves from the addiction of smoking or anything like this. What do you think?
mm. Or any other addiction. Some people are really addicted to, tea, coffee. I cannot sleep. I cannot study without this and this. Right now is the month that you can, you can stay away, or you can keep yourself safe from this issue of addiction. I think that's it,
Yes.
bro. Let's go to another topic and we discuss about it. We are only remaining around 20 minutes.
Yes, I was thinking of talking about Salat because in this month,
Mm,
I think the best way to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is by worshipping in this month. And one of the best
yes.
ways is by reading Salat, not just the wajibat Salat that we have, the five prayers, the daily prayers that we have, and we should also be praying some other Salats as well. But before we go to other Salats, let's just discuss a little bit about the importance of Salat for myself, for yourself, and for the viewers that are watching this program. Why Salat is so important and why we should not neglect it. Why should we keep it as the number one priority in our life? Do you want to start or should I
Before,
start?
no, no, no. I'm giving you a task right now to do before I explain the issue of Imam Ali and Salah. Can you kindly check for me the translation of verse number 45, Surah Al-Ankabut, and then I talk about this. Here about issue of Salah, we should, as I mentioned yesterday, that we shouldn't take Salah as our, lifestyle. Because I'm a Muslim, I have to pray. Or we shouldn't also take it as an obligation. You know what? Because I'm a Muslim, then I have to pray. And the lifestyle is that, today, every day I have to pray. So whenever I hear adhan, I have to go and pray. Because I'm used to it. No, we should pray with sincere heart for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our words, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our prayers. We can't be we can't be like somebody. We can't be somebody like Imam Ali, but at least we can be a lower level of him. Imam Ali, alayhi salatu wasalam, he was talking about his prayers. He was saying that Ya Allah, oh Allah, I'm not praying because of fearing your hellfire. And I'm not praying because, I really need your paradise. But no, I found you somebody to be worshipped. That's why I decided to worship you. So we should pray, or we should worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with a sincere intention that Allah is a being that should be worshipped. Not because Allah created paradise. Okay, fine, you want to pray because you are running away from hellfire. That is your own wicked man. You want to pray because you really need that paradise. That is your own wicked man. Your salah will be accepted, but it's not the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants it from us. So you will pray, but you won't get that high level of piousness that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala really needs us to gain it from this salah. And on the other side, the issue of salah is that we should check the time. You said we talk about the salatul wajibah, the obligatory prayers. The obligatory prayers, you shouldn't just say, oh, okay, fine, right now is adhan. I will go and pray after 5 minutes. Let me just give a clear picture for our viewers to understand is that it's like a golf. Have you seen the golf pitch, how it is? And where that hole is that you have to beat the ball and to come and fall in that. If you beat the ball, if you kick the ball, or I don't know what, it will come. If it will come closer to the hole where it should enter, you won't gain the point. If it goes beyond it, you won't gain the point. You have to strike it or to beat it for it to go inside the hole. So going inside that hole is the objective. If you pray your Maghrib prayer before the time, you are not going to get the thawab. If you pray the Maghrib prayer after the time, you're not going to get the thawab completely. You'll be praying qada. You won't be praying the exact time that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us. Allah placed for us sometimes. The Holy Prophet mentioned for us when should we pray such prayers. But you, with your own mind, or somebody, our viewers, no, I will pray it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very merciful. I will just pray and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept it. Are you praying for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Allah doesn't need anything from your prayers. You are praying for your own self. You are praying because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded us to pray. So you are praying because you want to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are not praying because you are fearing you are fearing his hellfire. Or you are not praying because you want that paradise. No, you shouldn't be greedy because of Allah's mercy. Allah's mercy is there. And he has given you the breath, he has given you the strength, then you have to use it in a proper way. And the first proper way of using the strength that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you is by thanking him, is by praying on time, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept your prayers. Bro, can you recite for us that first, please?
Yes.
Let me recite the Arabic of it before you recite the translation. Wait.
Recite.
Wait, let me recite the Arabic first. Don't go to the translation. Wait. You don't slow study. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أتل ما أوحي إليك من الكتاب وأقم الصلاة إن الصلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. That is Surah Al-Ankabut, verse 45. Now we can read the translation, please.
So the translation is as follows. So I'm reading from Yusuf Ali for the general public. Recite what is sent of the book by inspiration to thee, and establish regular prayer. For prayer restrains from shameful and unjust deeds. So the word fahsha. And remembrance of Allah is the greatest thing in life, without doubt. And Allah knows the deeds that you do.
Yes.
That's the translation.
So yes, by praying, what are we going to gain?
Say that again.
What are we going to gain by praying?
So, salat itself, when you pray, it protects you from despicable actions that are not worthy of being called human actions. So, from sins, bad sins, fahshiyat, these kind of actions. So, it seems like salat is a protection. It's a barrier from doing unethical behaviors. But then that means salat should be prayed in the correct manner to have its effects. And it says, Aqimatu salat. So we have to maintain salat. Not to read salat, but maintain salat. So maintaining salat means from one point of, so if we read Fajr namaz, for example, until the Zohr namaz, we should maintain it. So we should be consistent on what we recited. So whatever we believe in, we stood up for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and we were praying for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then we have to maintain that composure, that mindset, till we reach the next checkpoint. I call it a checkpoint. The next checkpoint is the Zohr checkpoint. Then it's the Asr checkpoint. And then you have the Maghrib and Isha. So you have to cross all of these checkpoints. And you have to maintain your dignity, your respect, and your character, so that you don't fall offline. And that's what you call maintaining, keeping a consistency in your behavior. But sometimes we fall down, we make mistakes, we do commit sins by either deliberately or accidentally. We make those kind of mistakes. Before Brother Jafar, you add on to this, I just want to let you know, and myself as well, and the viewers, that sometimes you might be praying salat, but you're feeling as though you're not able to get rid of a sin, and you're stuck in that sin. So there's a narration I came across, and in that narration I came across is this, that there was a young guy during the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he was involved in the opposite sex. So he was a bit involved with them in some kind of way. perhaps maybe he was doing some sin. I don't have that detail, but I understand that he was unethically or not doing the right way. So, but he was a very punctual reader of salat. So he would read behind the Prophet his salat every time, and he wouldn't miss a single prayer. So some of the Sahaba came to the Prophet and said, this individual commits a lot of sins. So the Prophet asked them, does he pray on time? He said, yes, Prophet, he prays behind you. He prays behind you. Yeah, regularly he prays. Then the Prophet says, no, you don't need to worry. The salat will protect him and take him out of that sin that he's committing, or the mistake he's doing. So for those viewers that are watching this program, if you are committing a sin, or you're stuck in a sinful habit, and you're finding it hard to come out of that habit, apologies, I really it dropped. So if if you're committing a sin and you're stuck in that sin and you're not able to pull yourself out of this quagmire, from this pit, let's say there's a pit and you're stuck in that pit, then the salat is the only way that can pull you out of that mess that you're in and save you from that sin. So you shouldn't lose hope. So what I was trying to say is that by salat, praying salat the right way, for example, that person was praying behind the Prophet. So definitely praying behind the Prophet, and if you're sincere, your prayer would be accepted, even whatever quality of your mindset was, or if you were concentrating on the salat, or if you were not concentrating on the salat. But because you were praying behind the Prophet and you're in his presence, of course you will definitely benefit from that. But those that are not in the presence of the Prophet, like you and myself and the viewers that are watching this program, they also should not lose hope, as long as they commit to praying salat and give salat its due haq, due justice. What does that mean? So perhaps reading salat on the right time, not, as you said, Brother Jafar, reading it on the right time, making sure that you're following the halal and avoiding the haram. So you're praying on a halal place, on a place that you're allowed to pray. You're wearing clean clothes so that the clothes are pure, and you haven't taken any haram in your stomach. Then your prayer would be accepted, even if your concentration is not there. But you followed some criteria, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very merciful, is very kind and very generous. He will accept that prayer to whatever degree that prayer is. And I believe as long as you have a proper comprehension of your Lord, if you understand your Lord and you believe that He's a generous, merciful, the Rahman, definitely He will accept your prayer as long as you meet those criteria.
Yes.
Brother Jafar, you want to add something?
So, no, I don't want to add anything else. You already completed the whole thing that I wanted to say. So I think we are remaining with 10 minutes. If there is any call, around 7 minutes. If there is any call or any question before we talk about the issue of istikhara.
Yes, dear brothers and sisters, so while we have this program running, we also want to provide a service of istikhara and spiritual insight. So we have a few ulama that are spiritually high. Brother Jafar, would you like to perhaps tell our viewers, in Hausa we've met some mystical people that have irfan in them, and how they resolve our problems. We tell them a question. I would like you to explain some scenarios to our viewers, because I think what's happened in this world is that we are so concentrating on the materialism that we forget we also have ilm ghaib, not ilm ghaib of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but there's some knowledge behind the scene, and such as we use istikhara. I use istikhara daily on a lot of occasions, and I've seen how istikhara has benefited me, has guided me. And a lot of people also call me and they ask me, can you do this istikhara for me? And this istikhara is a very good method of directing yourself, navigating yourself in this world of problems, calamities, and tests. You don't know what to do. Sometimes you don't know which way to go, this way or that way. Right, take the right side or take the left side. What should you do in a certain scenario?
Wait. Wait. Just to put in the bracket that this istikhara is done for something which is halal, not something which is haram. Oh, I want to go and I want to rob a bank. So can we do istikhara if I go in the morning or in the evening? No. We don't do such istikhara. We do istikhara for something which is positive. Oh, I want to give my wife a divorce. Can I do istikhara or not? No, we don't do istikhara for those things. So if you are lost which way to choose between this and this, we are not talking about negative. We are not talking about negative things. Dear viewers, don't understand negative. Okay, continue, bro.
Yes, I wanted you to explain about the ulamas that we have in Iran and Najaf and Qum and Najaf, and how the people over there benefit from them. What the information they get, the guidance they obtain from such individuals. I would like you to share something about this if you have something in your mind. If you don't, I have a few that I can share.
I just want to mention one. I have a lot of in my mind, but I just want to mention one. This Ayatullah Milani, a lot of people know him. Even he is the grandfather of Ayatullah Fadl of Syed Fadl Milani, who is in London, I think, right? So his grandfather is Ayatullah Milani. Ayatullah Milani, he was during his time. Somebody came to his presence, then he said, "Hey, Marja or Ayatullah or Maulana or Sayyidina, you know what? Since I entered my house, I decided to change the position of toilet inside the house. But the position was that of the toilet was in that angle. So I decided to break that one and to put it in this side. Then since then, whenever I'm sleeping, I can hear some people talking. I can hear some things talking, some pages being changed. This sound of books. So before he told Ayatollah Milani about him changing the toilet, he said, I can't have a proper sleep at night because I can hear some movement, some people talking. So what is wrong with me? Is there any problem that I'm having spiritually? How can I solve it out? What is the remedy? Ayatollah Milani asked him, did you change anything in the house when you entered that house? And when did you enter that house? He said about around 1 month back. Then he said, did you change anything from the inside the house? He said, yes. He said, what did you change? Ayatollah Milani asked him, what did you change? He said, I changed the position of what? The position of toilet. Then Ayatollah Milani looked at him and he said, you just go and return and break the new toilet that you've made and just return it to where it was. After doing that, then come back to me. He did that, he got a proper sleep, then he went back to Ayatollah Milani to thank him. Then he asked Ayatollah Milani, what was wrong? What was wrong with this issue? Ayatollah Milani told him, where you decided to build the toilet, the new place, there is a grave of ancestors of jinn over there. So that's why they were disturbing you, because you are going to toilet to WC in a place where there was an ancestor of jinn buried there. That's why I decided to tell you to change back the position of the toilet. So there are some people in our community, in our society, that are forgotten, because right now people are just going after material things. Can you offer me a job? Then I'm coming to your side. Can you help me with some money? Then I'm coming to your side. I need food. Can you give me some food? I come to your side. But when it comes to soul food, which is spiritual food, people, they don't look at that side because they think it is just there. We are just created with one dimension, which is physical dimension. That's why we have to just to nurture it or to grow it with material or physical or material things, my worldly material.
Roja, I think we're running out of time now. There's only 2 minutes left. I would like to wrap this up. We'll continue this conversation in the next program that we have. And brothers and sisters, those that are watching this program, next time, tomorrow, same time, we'll run the program. And if you have any questions that you want to ask us, please do call us on the number that has been provided or send us a WhatsApp message and we will try to answer your questions. Any istikharas, anything to do with your spirituality, anything weakness that you have or strengths that you want to gain, and any insights that you want to have, mystical insights that you want to have and discuss, we are here to help you and provide you that information.